Hello and welcome to Inside Out, special edition here on AUK Radio today. How are you, Dele?
I'm well. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Good. So, Developwise,
Yes.
you've been working on a number of projects for the last couple of months, but one of the projects you've currently focused on is the cost of living. Is that correct?
Yes. It's the Luton Elevate project.
Okay.
And basically, the whole aim is to support people in the community to rise, above cost of living. Yeah.
Brilliant. Just before we go into the set of questions, I was going to just do a brief, because you do quite a lot in the community. So if you've just joined the show, my name is Nneka, and I am a co-host on Inside Out here on AUK Radio with Junior Badila. And this show is mostly held on Saturdays, but we're doing a special edition today. And so we're going to be talking about the cost of living, and also allow our guest, Dele, to tell us a bit more about his projects that he's doing in the community. He does quite a lot of different projects. He gets funded to work with different people in the community. And so we're going to look into that. And obviously, it's the election. That's what everyone is talking about, election. And I know, obviously, it's to some people, it's like this year, we're not participating. It's the same old. But at the end, I still think it's one of the biggest topic at the moment, because there's a number of issues that a lot of people are concerned about, and the party that gets in this time, we don't know how long they're going to be there for. I mean, the Tory party were there for 14 years. So we're just going to touch on that and see how is the current cost of living, or what level of impact is it going to have on people's decision to vote on the 4th of July? Are they going to bother to vote, or are they just going to vote for any party, believing that it's not going to make any difference? But anyway, we'll be coming back to that later on the show. So before we go on, Dilly, just tell us a little bit about Developwise.
Basically, Developwise came about from myself and a number of my friends wanted to do something in the community, to basically address what we are seeing happening. So basically, how it actually started with me just seeing. And this is about 12 years ago now, or 13, like a number of young people finishing their secondary school, but then ending up on the street, and that did not really make a lot of sense to me. So it started to really bother me. Then I researched into why that's happening. And then I came across some young entrepreneurs that were doing really well. And one of them was Gabrielle Jordan. She was 8 years old. She had a jewelry business.
Wow.
Which is like...
Wow.
Yeah, that's in a different level. And then another was a young guy called Thomas Suarez. And he was about 13. And he had 4 apps on App Store. So it made me think, why were they being so productive at such a young age? And when I researched into it, what I found out is there's something they were passionate about, and that support to use their passion in a positive way. So basically, that's how I put together my first project.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's how you got to create Developwise. as an organization. So that motivated you to, is it through the project, or you decided to, it led to you creating or establishing your own company?
What happened was like when that, like it tends to be the passion comes first with a lot of what we do, isn't it? Almost like that started a fire, like inside me, and there's processes that happens, like, at one point I didn't really know where to go,
Yeah.
and then at one point an opportunity just came out of nowhere, to work on the workshop, and then my friend, Timothy Mason, he's actually running a project at the moment as well, for Developwise in Fali.
Yeah.
Video making workshop for young people in the community.
Yeah.
So, he's passionate as well about supporting young people. So, and then another friend of ours, Simon Mitchell, which is also passionate about working with young people. He worked for, in a school. He worked for Princess Trust with young people. So we just have, you have, that synergy. So it was like, okay, yeah, let's do this. So that's how Developwise came about, really.
Amazing. That's good. And ever since, so Developwise, you've been championing a number of projects in the community. You get funded to do these projects?
Sometimes, it's not like, it's not all the time.
Okay.
It's like, so myself, what drives us is just, kind of like, helping the community, like, and then to be fair, to be honest, like before we even started to get some of the funding, we were already doing projects that were not funded, just because we wanted
so you guys set up and then you run the workshops, the different projects out of passion, and you self-fund sometimes.
Yes.
That's amazing. I mean, it's not a lot of people, because a lot of what you do is not really easily monetized. You're giving back a lot of the time. So that's very, very good to see. There's an organization in the community that is doing that. Now, so we Developwise, just talk me through some of the projects that you do, because I know you do coaching as well.
Yes,
you do coaching, you do a lot of workshop around employability. Just give us a background on some of the projects that you do.
Yeah, like one of the our project we have at the moment, the Luton Elevate project. Or maybe I should actually talk about some of the projects we have done in the past.
Yeah. That's, give us a whole picture of what Developwise, represent, what you do as a community organization. You're a CIC registered, so community interest. Just talk us through that.
Yes, basically our mission really, and I think everything stems from that, is our aim is to bring rest into the community. And when we say rest, we want to raise aspiration.
Okay.
We want to empower. We want to support, and then we want to bring transformation, especially in communities that are deprived, in poor communities. So basically, our workshop, kind of comes from that. For an example, one of the workshops we are running within Luton Elevate project is the passion and interest, monetizing. And what passion and interest monetizing is about is helping people to explore their passion, explore their interests.
So almost like turning your hobby into money type of thing, like a source of income.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes, exactly that. Because
that's good. And it's important. If you're passionate about something, why can't you make a living out of it? Especially in this time where things are quite difficult, and almost every other sector is saturated. So if you've got a passion that's unique and you can certainly make something out of it, why not? Develop it further.
Yeah, it's amazing, and that's one of basically one of the outcomes, in our previous workshop, is when you talk about exploring passion and interest and monetizing it, it might sometimes almost come across as stupid. That how can you basically, not for everybody, but like for some people, it can come across as stupid. That okay, how can you monetize that passion and that interest and those skills? And during the workshop, it was an eye opener because it was like, you could see a number of the guys there like, how can you monetize that? Then sharing an example of how that got monetized. An example of it was making people feel comfortable.
Okay.
Because somebody that likes.
How do you monetize that?
How do you monetize that? Yeah, that's an example.
I mean, there are different ways to make people feel comfortable. So, are they like entertainers or they're just speakers? They just talk like comedians? Or?
I know, like you see, you have come up with about 4 or 5 ways already.
I'm thinking, comfortable. Could that be? Would that be making people comfortable? Are they being made to feel comfortable? Are they being entertained?
I'll give you an example.
Okay, give us an example.
I use.
Okay.
Like I remember, like somebody sharing about hotels that were made for stars. Like in the state.
Okay. For you mean like celebrities?
Celebrities, yeah.
Okay.
And the whole aim is because celebrities isn't like in a lot of environment, they cannot be comfortable because how people act around celebrity. So the whole idea was like, we'll make them feel comfortable. And part of it is training the staffs not to act like that. So they can come there and not expect, people to be jumping on them and, all of that. So that's a good example. Actually, I remember watching a documentary about Monaco. And now Monaco is actually designed that way also. Yeah, designed that way also.
Yeah.
Like, so for example, I believe that, paparazzis are not allowed to operate there at all.
Really?
Or something like that, yeah, from documentary I watch anyway. Because they want, the stars that come there to be.
I hear it's a very expensive place to go to. Yeah. I did had a conversation with my friends one time, and when we saw the cost of just being there for one day, we decided we change our destination. But yeah, okay. I mean, that's interesting. So you empower young people. I mean, not just young people, but mostly young people who have passion or who are not quite sure of what to do.
Yes.
You use through your the different projects that you champion. You're able to sort of inspire them and encourage and kind of guide them towards developing something for themselves. It could be through their passion.
Yes.
Yeah. So you also do. So within your coaching, before we go into the main topic of today, I just want to quickly touch on some of the stuff that you do.
Yes.
Correct coaching. What is that? What do you do with that?
I think with correct coaching is what coaching is about is supporting a person to think and for them to come up with solutions, to kind of maybe areas they are seeking solution or areas they are stuck. And what is I think is important about coaching is you are not giving the person the solution. You are supporting them to come up with the solution themselves.
Right.
So because of that, they come up with solutions that are unique, for themselves. So a good example of that, and that's where it probably comes cost of living, where, coaching can really support with cost of living. Like you said earlier, there's a lot of areas that have been covered when it comes to generating income, and a lot of areas that you can go into. So that in itself can be very, very confusing for somebody that is thinking, okay, what should I go into?
Yeah.
But in a coaching session, they will be support to kind of explore, to think about what will suit them, what will work best for them.
For them.
And because of that, they create something that is unique, for themselves. And because of that, also, they are able to even create something new, something that nobody else have really...
Something original.
Original, yeah, that's the word. And I think that's different between what a lot of people call coaching today. It's not actually coaching, it's mentoring.
Right.
And because mentoring, you are, to some extent, giving the person, the information that you have, for them to...
They're giving them a sort of a guide, guidance, towards
it's the area that you are
direction.
experienced in,
Yeah. Okay.
So like yourself, you are experienced
if I'm helping someone towards developing a presenter, develop themselves as a presenter, or a broadcaster, or something within the media sector, so it's something that I am.
You are experienced in,
So whereas for correct coaching, you are allowing them to come up with this idea themselves, discovering who they are, what they want, their passion, and then you're supporting them in also thinking about the direction that they want to go. Is that correct?
It's more like you are supporting them to come up with the idea.
Okay.
That's coaching, but then mentoring, you can use the mentoring to support them to give it a solid foundation.
So is that what you would class as correct coaching?
Yes, correct coaching is you don't. They use something. The term that's used is push and pull. So push is like when you are teaching. You are getting the information and you are basically throwing it out. That's what push is. Coaching is pulling.
Okay.
You are getting the information out, of the person.
Right.
But that process, you are supporting them to come out with that information themselves. So
I see.
You are, supporting them. So you are not pushing that information to them. You are supporting them to come out, with that information. Now, this is a field. There's, like I got trained with an organization called 3D Coaching, and they are basically like they are accredited. It's the international Coaching Federation. I think that's the governing organization.
Okay, yeah.
So
I've never heard of them, but yeah.
Yes, relatively quite a new, it's a relatively
initiative.
New, kind of field. And the aim of the whole idea is that it's basically, you are not pushing, you are kind of pulling, and it's amazing. What's amazing about it is when you are coaching. Actually, when you don't have an idea about the field, you coach better, because almost like you are trying to discover it as well.
So you're researching and helping them, getting information. You're gathering the right information, data to support whatever they're able to discover themselves.
Yeah, because you are almost like you are aiming to discover it yourself. So, because you are able to discover it, you are not
imposing. You're not putting your own ideas.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
And that's why, for an example, one of the areas that we are aiming to kind of support the community with coaching is the parenting.
Okay.
Because we had the recent project called the Bedfordshire Against Crime community project, community focus group, and one of the things we discovered was the importance of parents. And now, parents, don't seem to actually get a lot of support, like in the community. Like there's a bit more support for young people. There's more support for different areas, but not as much for parents. So that's one of the areas that we are really aiming,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be interesting. We can talk about that. I mean, that would I believe open a whole lot of questions. So that's probably a show for another day. So just coming back to obviously the theme that we're looking at today, the cost of living. It's good to get your background. Now, with the cost of living. You're running this project where you're having different workshops to help people in managing this. I think it's it's some kind of crisis because people are in dire situations that they don't really know what to do. But through your project, you're able to sort of provide some level of support within the local community, helping families, individuals, to sort of come up with a plan or some kind of strategy to manage the hard, difficult situation that they find themselves when it comes to their finances, having to making sure that they're able to feed their families. So talk us through this.
Yeah, definitely.
Project.
Yeah, we have 3 workshops that we are running with the project. One of them is the passion and interest monetizing.
Okay.
And then we're running a budgeting workshop as well. And with the budgeting workshop, what we are doing with the budgeting workshop is supporting, or in a way teaching, how to set a budget. And not only how to set a budget, how to monitor your budget.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are budget bored.
It's how to stay within budget.
Not how to stay within budget.
You don't go out and see that Gucci. Oh, it's on sale. Oh, I need to get that.
Yeah, it's true.
And
it's
then
true.
you start digging into your budget for things that are unplanned.
Unplanned. Yeah. Oh, you are right.
I know because I occasionally suffer from such where I don't tend to stick to my budget, and then before the end of the month I'm like, oh dear, I don't have money for the important things, and then I look again. I went through the shop and I saw something that was on sale. It wasn't really on my list of things that was essential.
Yes.
And then that's I'm talking from experience.
No, that's totally understandable. I think a lot of the financial struggle, people don't, sometimes I think they don't realize what's happening, or maybe they are not as conscious. Like, for an example, back in the days, how many corner shops did we have? You have to walk sometimes about 20 minutes to get to the corner shop. Some people would like, okay, I'm going to not do with that because that work. But now, I think most people, by 10 minutes you are in the corner shop.
It's not just that; it's online. You get emails telling you, "Oh, we've got these sales going on," and you like, okay, yeah, let me see, and then you go on, you follow the link, and then you go online, and you think, oh, I do need that new pair of trainers. Oh, I do. That dress looks so nice. It's on sale. It's 20% off. But actually, do you need it? But anyway, before I digress. So, I mean,
you are talking from experience. I can see
budgeting is something that I do believe anyone that takes their finances serious at one point would have done. On reflection, you would have asked yourself, I spent that money. Did I really need to do that? I've had instances where I had to return items that I didn't, I bought them, in the spur of the moment. And then it's like, did I really need this? And then I had to take it back. So, you find yourself in this situation sometimes, but things are really hard right now. I need to prioritize my bills, my monthly outgoings. I need to prioritize my, electricity bill. I need to prioritize my council tax. I need to prioritize, even putting food on the table.
Yes.
And this is becoming really difficult for a lot of people. Yes. Now, obviously, we talk about this lightly, and I give example of where I have in the past, how I've sort of mismanaged my funds and, my budget out of the window because of the distractions.
Yes.
But it's not always the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like the current economic climate is real. The austerity is real.
Yeah.
People are working almost twice as hard as, like say 20 years back.
Yes.
And still they're not able to put food on the table or eat decent meals.
Yes.
So what's your thought on this? I mean, from this project you're running, and how are people coping?
Like from the people that have basically attend our project, there are a lot of people that are really really struggling, and you can even see that when you are outside and you see just like how people are locally. There are a lot of people that are really struggling, and a lot has changed. I remember back in the days, even like getting employment. You work to an agency in the morning. You get a job in the afternoon. That's how it was. About 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I know people that have worked. Been going to agency for 2-3 weeks, and have not got any jobs.
Yes. Because there's
So
a lot of the sectors are saturated.
Yes, they are saturated, and guys are having to travel, to other cities and that
parts of the country.
To get employment. Some of them are spending quarter of the money on traveling. So they go to work for £100 and then they get £60 or £50.
And then you have nothing. You can't even save. It's really difficult to put anything aside at the end of the month. So how do these people survive?
Basically, like one thing we have been doing through the project is, first of all, kind of support them with the budgeting, because what I think that people learn different ways, and a lot of times, especially in our community, we teach a lot by speaking. It's it's more like audio, but people that suffer are those that learn by visual and by action, by doing something.
Okay.
So those guys are not really catered for. So our workshop, the budgeting one, there's a big emphasis to some extent on visual.
Okay.
And then action. Okay, the way I'll break that down is this: like we use Excel, which to some extent help. Our plan is to support people in the community to upskill digitally as well.
Okay.
So that kind of link to
I see.
project.
Yeah.
But we want to work with people where they are. So although we use Excel, we are like you can do this on a notepad, and we'll support you to you want to have a notepad system to do that. But what that does is, as you kind of and there's a lot to it as well. I cannot really go deep into it because the Excel document helps you to calculate your savings.
Okay.
It helps you to calculate your expenses, your income, and because of that, you can easily develop strategies to areas you're having issues.
Okay.
So if you are not being able to save, you can have a coaching session.
Okay.
Like
Brilliant.
how can we do this? If you are not earning enough, you can have a coaching session. You can have passion and interest monetizing. How can you increase your income?
Right, I see.
So the budget actually, a lot can happen from even just doing the budget.
So apart from you teaching them how to create a budget,
yes,
you're also showing them, okay, say for instance they've got a budget but still the earning is little to nothing.
Yes.
You're able to say, okay, how about we look at other ways how to increase your income, so you could sort of your budget, increase your budget for whatever, and be able to save. That's brilliant. So you two projects at the same time, I'm guessing, or they're getting two different skills at the same time. That's good.
The budgeting system, it does a lot, like almost like it's diagnosed to some extent as well where the person is at. Because the aim is to be saving, like you mentioned.
Okay.
So during the budget, you look at the percentage. We encourage 20% savings, and that can seem very painful because some people are not even saving.
That is very painful when you're not even earning enough to be able to to buy
Yeah.
food, for instance.
But then you have to aim for something, though.
So that means
isn't it?
you. So what? Obviously, through this workshop, you're
Yeah.
able to encourage people maybe to look at areas they need to cut down.
Raise aspiration. So yeah, just raise the aspiration that, you know what, you can aim for 20%, to be able to save 20%. So
Okay.
so basically that's one of the things we do, but we know that they are not there, so we can work with that as well where they are, and then look at their income,
Okay.
then okay, when you put the income figures there, then put the expenses figure. Obviously, if the
So they're working with a lot of data then.
working with a lot of data for them, but it's visual.
Yes.
They can see exactly what's happening
So it's not just calculating in your head.
in your head.
Okay,
Yeah.
I earn £1,000. Yeah, 800 is going for rent. I've got £200. So, but you're able to, you're helping them through the spreadsheet
Yes.
to visualize this, what it is actually left. Okay, this is how much I've got. And not just do like an imaginary calculation.
Yeah, it's amazing what that does.
Okay.
A story I normally share.
So and that's effective. Do you think that that's
very effective?
Okay.
Like I'll share 2 stories actually. Like one of them was a personal one.
okay?
Like because when you have a budget, a lot of people have budget, but what they don't do is they don't use it regularly. If you have a budget, really, you should be every time you are spending close on a daily basis, put the figure into your your
spreadsheet.
your spreadsheet.
Yep.
See where that figure is, in line with your budget. So because when you see that, it does something to you. And one of the stories I shared was like I was planning to eat out one evening. That was a while back, now.
Okay.
And I was planning to eat out, but I started to update, my,
Spreadsheet.
my spreadsheet, my document. And when I saw what was happening with my finances, I could not get myself to eat out that day.
So that
I
discouraged you from. You thought you had to think twice. Okay.
It did not make me think twice. It totally removed the desire. It totally removed the desire. I was gonna go, but instead of me,
Wow, I think I might adapt this. I did try with this app that Apple had, but then I'm not very, like I said, I shared with you that sometimes I spend foolishly. But I think it sounds like a really effective way of managing your finances in this very difficult time where money is almost like as soon as it gets into your hand, it's
when the going get tough, like
you have to
you have to add those extra measure in, like there's a lot that's attacking our finances nowadays. Like when I saw the story in Kenya, I'm pretty sure the riot,
the
and
riots,
the guys are
the tax increase,
the tax increase
instead of the government again. That brings us back to talking about the government. I did have what do you think the government are doing enough to help tackle the issue of this high cost of living? A lot of people are living below poverty level. I think in the UK at the moment, I think the data from 2022-23 is about 18% within England and within, I think, the whole of the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Around about 18%, I think, nationally. But I don't know, locally, do you have the figures?
The figure that I have locally, like Luton has been one of those areas anyway. Luton have areas that have a high level of being deprived.
People below,
I think 3 of the wards in Luton are in the kind of worst 10%.
Wow.
In the country.
In the whole of the country.
Yeah, and I believe a number as well is in 20%.
So from your obviously you as a community leader and working with individuals as well as families in the community.
Yes.
Do you think this current government, obviously, in a couple of days, will be deciding if they should stay or not,
Yeah.
or go. Well, the nation will decide, not just us. Do you think they've done anything to help tackle this high level? I mean, the Tory party is known for austerity, so they deliberately allow these measures and this system that's, make life a living hell for people. However, they've been claiming to be doing stuff to help and improve the standard of living and all that. What's your take on that? Is that really, has it been effective? Do you know of any thing that they've done as...
I think with the government and maybe the party, it tends to be like one extreme, and the other extreme to some extent.
To this,
yeah.
Okay, so we need something in the balance. But
yeah,
yes.
there needs to be a balance. So generally, I feel that the Tory do encourage, they encourage businesses, particularly big businesses, to
grow,
to do better.
Yeah.
But maybe what they don't do as much is, kind of protect, the customer that they are using, to facilitate those growth.
Yeah. Those who are patronizing the big businesses.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right.
Because from my experience, and I've been in this nation for a while, and and these things will be open to debate, no matter what, like other governments, they tend to consumers tend to have a bit more right with other governments. So exploiting consumers is not. It's as easy.
So there are measures in place to protect the end users of products, rather than the other way around, where big corporations, they're getting government bailouts, they're getting tax cuts here and there. But, for the average...
I think it has to be somewhere in the middle.
Of course, definitely. And then, it's like we were saying, everything has to be...
The balance.
There has to be a balance.
Yeah.
There's no point, helping the big businesses who are already, making money, and then the people can no longer afford to buy. The big businesses, in the end, at the end, they I do believe that they will suffer as well, because I can choose, like you said, you have to think twice. Okay, do I really need that thing? Do I need to go to Nando's for dinner tonight when I could just put rice, go to Tesco, buy a £5 right now, and it would save me money?
Come on, they know us very well. They know us very well. Like, I'll give an example. Every time I get an update on my computer or my phone, my feeling always is this: they are just looking for ways to push more product in my face.
Of course, and that's where we know how the big
how it works.
The algorithm and all that they use to monitor our behavior, our spending, and all that,
and encourage us to spend,
to get you and push you to spend more. Now, I mean, okay. So we talk about the government, if how they've tackled the issue of cost of living. We, with the Tory party, we know it's obvious. We are in it. It's been 14 years of hardship, as so to speak. Not here. It's not about the party, but this is their government. So that's what we can talk about. But obviously, with the election, so we're rounding up now. So we're going to kind of, talk about how what do you make of all these different parties and the promises with the high cost of living? Which party, this, I'm being cheeky now. I'm being cheeky. Which party do you think we can trust with helping to tackle this issue quicker? I don't think it's going to happen overnight, where all of a sudden electricity bill is gone down to a reasonable amount. I mean, with the war happening all over the world, we're bound to still have, get a pinch of, this whole madness. But what do you think of parties? The different parties and their promises?
I think the party that, somebody made a statement about a party talking a bit more about the community, like encouraging community more.
Yeah. Okay.
And when they said that, I'm like, okay, these people, I think they realize, what the issue to some extent is, And when you bring people together, it can, a lot of solutions can actually happen when you bring people together. Okay. For an example, I know a gentleman that was basically seeking somebody to support them, with school runs, and were willing to basically pay for the person to support them with the school run. And I was in a community setting. I was never thinking about that, But during that time when we were speaking and people's need were coming up, actually, what, this opportunity, I heard about is there, And one of the people in the group, that will work for me. So you see something, when communities come together, solutions can happen, which is one of the shame about cost of living, because when we are performing the cost of living survey to see the areas where cost of living has really impacted, people in the community.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll ask you a question. So So, the areas we looked at were mental.
Okay.
Relational.
We're doing reverse now.
We are doing reverse.
Okay.
Relational. And then we looked at financial. We look at physical. And we look at social.
Okay.
So, can you give me the top 3 in those 5 areas, What do you think is kind of in the order of the highest area of impact to the lowest area of impact? So it's mental, it's relational, it's physical, it's financial, and it's social.
So just to reiterate, social, mental,
yes,
financial,
yes,
relational,
yes.
And what's the final one?
Physical.
Physical. So what do you mean? Like which of this will help tackle the issue of cost of living?
It's more like whereas cost of living really affected majority of people the most.
I think starting with the highest, I think social.
Okay.
Mental.
Okay.
And I would say financial.
Okay. So social the highest, mental the second highest, and the financial the third. Yeah. Actually, you're pretty, I can see you are in tune,
because when you think about it, relational, I don't need, money. I could just hang with my friend with a with a cup of tea. It doesn't stop me having that relationship or, engaging with other people, except maybe if I have to travel or stuff like that. Obviously, that's where it, again, but that's the financial impact in my relationship. Yes. So finance, it then comes still the issue there. Social, sometimes you want to do some social activities, which does need the finance. You need money. And then obviously that would affect your mental well-being when you are struggling socially, you're struggling financially, the stress and all that then takes a toll on you.
So it's true, and those 3 areas they score highest, but it's the order that's actually different.
Okay.
Financial was the first.
The first, yes,
which because it's cost of living, isn't it? But the second was social.
Yeah.
It was social that people are not able to come together as a community like they used to. Just because of the cost.
Yeah.
Like when you get out of the house, you just spending period because of how everything is set up nowadays.
Exactly.
So that's one area that, I think support is needed. Okay. And once that support come in, where people can be, they can come together socially, without the fear of the cost.
of
Then,
hanging out with your friends,
yeah.
or going to places of interest, or you want,
Yeah,
do
because
some social
people are learning,
activities.
and they, like, so they know, like, even I remember somebody sharing that a lot of events that is classed as social events to get people out is really to get them to spend.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
when there's no, it's
yeah,
exactly true. If there's a festival, for instance,
yeah,
you want to go to festival. You don't want to be thinking, "Oh, I've only got £10." And when you go to this festival, you want to enjoy yourself, buy
yeah,
ice
yeah,
cream, get yourself whatever, like the store holders there, they're there to make money,
yeah,
and that's where you actually see some unique stuff, and you don't want to start thinking, oh, I can't spend. You go to the carnival, there's a lot of like jerk chicken, things that you probably wouldn't see every day, but
yeah.
because of your lack of finance, you just you go there thinking, oh, I've only got £20 for the rest of the week. I can only spend £5. So
Yeah,
that does, it does have an impact.
and yeah,
Yeah.
and but the problem is impact. Although it's finances, there's other impact like what I was saying about solutions that come from being in community.
Yeah, yeah.
That basically is not basically coming now because people are not
So I think
want to
we
be
might need to
outside the
carry
community.
on this. So you're
Yeah,
talking about, so this is how, as a community, we can find a solution when we come together
yes,
to tackle the high cost of living. So I want to,
it's part
excuse
of
me,
it.
I
Yeah, it's
want
part
to
of it. It's a
suggest,
big picture.
I want to give an example just to help our listeners. So you say, for instance, the example you gave of is it a driver, a community, someone who can help with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
picking
Just
up,
like those type of opportunities,
yeah, or
Yeah,
maybe a child minder, maybe
yeah,
someone could
yeah,
say, okay, if you're going to pay this amount, you need to go to work, and maybe it costs £30 per hour to drop
yeah,
your child at the nursery. We have, a community, maybe the council works with them. I don't know, but because a lot of these things, again, there's this red tape. You have to have some kind of licenses, or there are regulatory bodies, so you can't just set them up. But maybe as a community, you can say, yeah, I can look after your child
definitely. Yeah,
for this amount. It's not just in my own house, but
yeah.
they would obviously need to take into account all the other stuff
Of
that
course, yeah. Like
that's
it's just about coming together, isn't it? To
yeah,
really,
no, I agree.
yeah.
So through the community, we can find a solution. We can't always rely on the government for
Oh, definitely,
everything.
yeah.
All right. So that brings us to we've come to the end of the show, and we're going to have another show, another opportunity to talk a bit more in detail in your current project next time. So just to round up, do you have any final say before I ask my last question?
I think basically I'm just going to talk about the project, at the
Okay.
moment. So because we do have a number of workshops coming up.
Okay.
So one of I've spoken about as much is our financial planning workshop.
Okay.
And that's about goal setting financially and working on your goals on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And that works on that principle again about kind of making it visual and making it action based.
Okay.
Because, for an example, when we're talking about the budgeting, you mentioned something about, a kind of the visual. You mentioned that. But the other part that can, basically help people to gain more awareness is the action. You writing it down. Okay, this is how much
Okay.
I spent.
Okay.
This is why I've left.
Yeah.
Typing it on your Excel.
Wow.
This is how much I spent. This is how much I have left.
So you're making a note, basically.
So, yeah,
some kind of
because-
reporting of your.
Yeah, just maintaining, the information. It's not report. It's just basically, what the right word for it is this is managing, or there's a better word for it, where you are kind of updating and seeing what is happening
Okay.
on a regular basis.
Right.
So doing that with your budgeting, and that's what really.
Do you think this is a realistic? Do you think a lot of people someone who does 9 to 5 and they come back and at the end of the month they're going to be like, oh, I've got to sit in front of this computer or start typing this thing. It takes a lot of discipline to do that.
But discipline comes from a passion in a way to some extent.
I'm not passionate about filling spreadsheets.
I understand, but if you know the benefit of it, you would, start to become passionate about it.
Okay.
Like when you know that, okay, when I'm doing this, that will mean at the end of the month, my landlord is not going to be at the back of my head. That will that'll be more passion. And that's what we spoke about in the financial planning workshop.
Right.
Because the financial planning, we spoke about, the goal setting. Then we now talk about managing.
Yes.
So actions you are taking on a daily basis.
To help.
To make sure you stay on track. You are working towards your goal.
Okay.
But one important part of that process is you reviewing what is stopping you from taking daily actions. But your daily action is so that your children can be, in a better place at the end of the month. Okay. Your daily actions that your landlord can be, off your back at the end of the month.
Okay.
Your daily actions that you can have a car now, you can send money home to your parents. These are things that people are really passionate about. But when you are taking those daily actions, and you can see that this is what is stopping you from making that happen, you take those daily actions.
Okay.
And that's part of the raising of aspiration that we talk about,
Yeah.
Empowering. A lot of times, ignorance, is what a lot of times people not knowing. And I'm not saying basically in a kind of belittling fashion. I'm saying it just people don't know. They don't know what is making them not have money at the end of the month.
Yeah.
They don't know what is not making them, progress financially. They don't know, But the system we are creating for them is what will let them know for themselves. It's different for different people.
Yes, yeah.
What's making me not progress, financially, different from what's making somebody else
not.
So, but this system, brings this to light. You see what the issue is.
So you're able to visualize where the problem is coming from. Yes, I agree. Times are hard. I'm not earning enough. The bills have all gone up. But there are measures that I can use to tackle this, to manage this, so I can still live comfortably.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'll give another example. I'll give you. I have examples.
Right, we have 2 minutes.
Okay. It's basically one time, I thought my issue was I wasn't earning enough.
Okay.
Until I got a better job. Okay. I was earning more money now. Close to double what I was earning before.
Wow.
And I found myself at the same place at the end of the month.
Good.
And I'm like,
it's not good, but I mean,
you see what I'm saying.
Good was not the word I should be saying, but wow, it makes sense. Like you then, that's when you realize that actually it's not the amount that I earn.
That is the issue.
Yeah, because previously I could live on £1,000. Now I've got £2,000. I'm still having the same issue of not being able to save. So and I think you're right. And it's about setting your priorities and making sure that you are in control of yourself mentally, spending wise, because I think it's as long as you, talking from experience, I've seen, oh, wow, I've gotten some money. And then before I know it, I don't do brands and stuff like that. But personally, I think I unconsciously think, oh, yeah, I've got more. So I start doing maybe something that I've done. I only do once a month. I'm doing it 3 times a month. And, convenient then. So that takes me back to square one, to where I was.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's good. No, brilliant. And I think it's great. So what are the dates that you have for the workshop?
The dates, we're having it Tuesdays and then Saturdays. So we have one this Saturday.
Okay.
They are all at Dalo Community Center.
Okay.
So the Saturday workshop are from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Right.
And then the Tuesday workshop are from 5:30 to 8:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
And I think a number of the people that came to the workshop, what they said was they thought it was a long time.
Okay.
And I think that might be something that people are thinking. But all of them left buzzing because they said about how, like it has really helped them.
Yeah.
And how they thought it was going to be long, but what they were getting from it was so helpful that they did not feel the time.
That's good.
So it's something that is, is really helping people. So it's every Tuesday 5:30 till 8:30, and every Saturday 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the last workshop, so that people don't come after that date. The last workshop will be on, I believe, Saturday the night. So that's when the last current workshop is.
Yeah.
But we are planning to continue with the workshops.
Okay.
So, but people have to go on our website to find out
to get more
when the
information.
future days are going to be.
Okay.
So that is www.developwise.cic.org.uk. And if you type on Google, you will come up with our social media. But that's our website, www.developwise.cic.org.uk.
That's Dele from Developwise. Now, Dele, I said I was going to ask you the last question before we go. We are over time, however. Okay. I think we started a bit late, a few minutes, so we can buy back our time.
In the last question.
So with the election that's coming up next week.
Yes.
A week today, actually.
Yeah, it's next Thursday, isn't it?
So it's next week Thursday.
Yeah.
Do you think the cost of living will impact people's decision to vote next week?
I believe so, yeah. Because cost of living, decides, feeling, isn't it? Feeling plays an important factor. People that during the last 14 years have found themselves in a worse situation, I believe they would be like, want to change.
Okay.
So I believe
it will play a big factor. I do think so as well. Yeah. I mean, that and other issues for me, not so much of cost of living, but yes, I don't think any of the parties have got any, in my view, from what I've seen, any particular like realistic solution, I should say, in tackling that issue, given the ongoing war, and it's like we're probably going to be seeing more wars because some neocons are, they just do what they do best in ruining the whole world. But anyway, it's been really, really great. I mean, the time just flew by.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming. I know we have one more show you're coming back before the end of your project. And you tell us more this time around. We'll go deeper into, I like, your analysis of this. We can talk more on this and some of the strategies that you've used, to the measures that you've given to people to manage their finances better. Because I think even if we have a new government and, all of a sudden we all start earning twice as much, I think we might still find ourselves in the same situation if we don't have those measures in place to not overspend and get carried away.
And then bring in more finances as well.
And bring in more finances and be able to have, decent savings.
Decent savings, and then after decent savings, be able to afford nicer stuff as well. So it's not all. It's
and you're on holiday, yeah.
Holiday,
it's
yes,
all about,
nice, yeah.
It's all about the bands. Yeah. So I mean, it's been a really good 1 hour well spent. Thank you for coming, and to our listeners, thank you for joining us on Inside Out special edition here on AUK Radio. We will see you next time.